All right, Shannon, typically when a team gets to 10 wins, you kind of start aiming a little bit higher. You start thinking about the postseason and what comes beyond that. But for a team that hasn't won a division title since 1993, I think the chance to clinch that this weekend. What's your sense from talking to Dan Campbell and some of the guys with this Lions organization about what it would mean for this team specifically to pull that off?
It's very interesting that, we were talking to Jared Goff earlier today, and you guys may have read these quotes that he said, but he said, I understand the history of what's happened over the last 30 years. I get it. But we're the 2023 Detroit Lions. We can't make up for everything that's happened in the past. We just have to go out and do for this team and for this group. And you have to think like, it's so cool to see what they've done because Dan Campbell came in, right? He had a vision. We saw it on Hard Knocks. We saw it play out. We saw the ups and the downs. We saw the pain and how badly he wanted it for his group. We saw Aiden Hutchinson come in as a rookie and do what he was able to do early on. We saw Jared Goff get let go from the Rams, come over to the Lions, which, as we know, the Lions have had this, they are what they are. For 30 years, they've broken the hearts of Lions fans. I grew up a Miami Dolphins fan. I know exactly how they feel and exactly what they've gone through. And now they're doing it. And they're doing it because of the group of people that are in that locker room and because of Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn and the fact that they had a belief. And it's been really cool to see. When I watched that Hard Knocks a couple of years ago, I just remember thinking how likable the group was and how much you wanted to see them do well because they were so likable. And it's been fun to watch. And I know Lion fans are really excited. I've got some friends who are fans of the Detroit Lions. And again, growing up a Miami Dolphins fan, you sympathize with what they've gone through over the last 3 decades.
I can imagine. Yeah. And ironic, I think, that these two teams are kind of going through a similar moment together, but so with that in mind, I think it's a very interesting place to be because again, like you want to celebrate this and look, like the line on the Lions heading into this was like, whoa, hey, we're putting a lot of expectations on this team that has accomplished a whole lot, and they have delivered on the hype, but there is still a fair amount left for them to do. How do you think they kind of balance being proud of what they've accomplished while knowing that, hey, that's not the end goal either?
Yeah, I think that's exactly it, what you just said. It's like we haven't done anything yet. Like we've got to go out and we've got to win the North. And then that's not where we want to end. We want to go to the playoffs. We want to go to a Super Bowl. That's the end game for all of these teams every single year. And I really get the sense that they're living in the moment. I don't think that they're celebrating this. Jared Goff said when we talked to him that this is just a check mark. This is the next check mark that we have to do as a team. And I think as an outsider, as a fan base, it's you ask those questions. How much do we believe in this team? And that question comes from 30 years of being disappointed, 30 years of not seeing it happen. And you almost have to be proven, hey, we can do this before you stop not believing in what a team can do.
One guy that I think it's interesting that he's new to the Lions. This would be Sam Laporta. He's also new to the tight end position. So this is a franchise that hasn't won a whole lot. Well, Sam shows up and they're winning plenty. It's a position that's really hard to transition to in the NFL, and he shows up and makes it look easy. What's your impression of Sam Laporta and the season that he's having?
Well, I think Iowa and Coach Ferentz need to be applauded for the tight ends that they develop in that program. It's funny, I talked to Sam on the phone. What a great young man to have a conversation with him. You can tell that he's doing things the right way and talking to his teammates. A lot of them say, yes, he is a rookie. Yes, he is young, but there's a lot of things that he does that you go, gosh, I can't believe he's a rookie. Creating separation is one of them. And he said, as far as he played wide receiver in high school, and that skill set, he told me, definitely contributed to what he's able to do in terms of route running. but I think it's the blocking. I think that's the thing that a lot of tight ends, you have to be okay with physical contact. You hear George Kittle talk about his most favorite thing in the world is to move a man from one place to the other, against his will or without, whatever. I mean, he's a monster, pancaking, all this stuff. And I think the physical contact and the blocking is something that you really hear people say he's more elevated and elite in than your typical rookie. And he did give a lot of credit to the Iowa program. It's a pro style pro style offense and defense they run there. And Coach Ferentz, he told me, really kind of molds them for their future. And so I do think it starts there. And listen, he's got TJ Hawkinson, who, obviously plays for the Vikings. He told me was the guy who brought him on his recruiting trip. He was the guy who hosted him when he went. He's got the George Kittles. He has such great access to some of these great tight ends who not only know how to play the game, but know how to navigate it from a pro level. And I think that's a huge component in a young player's growth, is having guys like that to lean on and to watch.